The next protocol we'll be looking at is SSH. It is very common. It's used for remote administration. It gives you a secure shell, which is what SSH stands for, and allows you to then interact with a remote machine over an encrypted channel. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Grab our IP address. We are 192.244.143.2. So our victim is going to be the .3 version of that. And it is up and running. So let's do a quick scan with Nmap. And we see that port 22 is open. And it says it's running SSH. Let's do a quick service scan and operating system scan. And it came back. It's running OpenSSH 7.2 for Ubuntu, using Ubuntu 2.6. It says Ubuntu Linux. And the fingerprint also comes back, well, with a fingerprint. Doesn't really mean much to me. It says no exact OS matches. But the software is the Ubuntu version of OpenSSH. So that's the dead giveaway. How this works is normally you do SSH and then a user root is almost on every Linux machine. Root at our IP address. And it says, hey, authentication can't be established. Here is the fingerprint, the SHA-256. Are you sure you want to continue connecting? Normally we would check that, make sure that it's what we expect for that machine. We'll say yes. Have to type out yes. It says, welcome to Attack Defense SSH Recon Lab. That is the banner. We haven't even authenticated, and it already told us that it is what the name of it is. Now it's asking for root's password. Try like password 123. And you get 3 chances, usually for a password. We'll just exit out of that. Now that we've seen what service is running and we've kind of connected to it, let's netcat to it. Rather than using the SSH tool, we will just utilize netcat, which will connect, and it says 22. Connect to port 22, and it gives us this banner, which is how it did the fingerprint scan before. And it doesn't give us much more than that with netcat. It's a protocol mismatch, but it still gave us the banner, which is useful for enumeration, which is what we're doing really. Now that we've seen the banner and we've seen the welcome message, let's do some more enumeration on the machine. It's port 22. We're going to run the script SSH2 enum algos to enumerate all the algorithms. And this is useful. It shows us all the algorithms that can be used to create that key. We would want to write these down, and if we need them later, we have them. What's really helpful is we want that RSA key. it's the primary way that SSH actually encrypts through the RSA key. So we'll run the SSH host key, passing some arguments, script args of SSH host key equal to, and then we'll say full. And it gives us the full SSH RSA host key. Definitely want to save this. That could be very useful later. Couple more things we can check. Let's see if there are any weak passwords for SSH. We'll go back to our script. And what we want to check for here is SSH auth methods to know what sort of authorization methods are being used for, in this case, SSH user of student. It's always the intern. And we see that there are no supported authentication methods for the user of student. Well, that's dangerous. Let's try it for, how about admin? And we see that for the admin, there's a public key and a password. So we saw that student doesn't actually have a password. So what we could do is SSH student at the IP address, and we're in. We didn't have to tell it a password. We are student. And it looks like it's a restricted user and doesn't have full controls. But we can close that connection and we're back on our own machine. But generally, that's how SSH works.